Hey everybody, so spent the last 2 days getting this wall all built in. The wood right now is all primed and it's all screwed in. I will come back once I get the passenger side done, which is going to take another probably a couple days. It's a little more complicated because I have to get above the door, the sliding door as well. But it is smaller, so hopefully it'll take a little less time, but we'll see. But it worked out really well. It's all primed and screwed in, like I said. What we'll do once that's all done is I will come back and actually I'm going to paint this whole thing, including all the screws. We're going to paint it white, or a whitish color anyways. Somewhat to hide the screws. I don't mind the screws up in the natural wood, but they really show up a lot on this primed wood. So I think we're just going to paint right over them, and it should look really nice when it's all done. All of the window and the head section right here where the bed, the upper bunk will go, what I did is I took a router and I actually flush trimmed it, so that's actually all smoothed out around the corners. It's got nice radius corners in each one of them. It turned out really nice all the way down. I was able to drill holes and make for the wire chases, so this is for basically the reading light and the carport that will go for the upper bunk. The shelf unit that I built the other day will come up to about somewhere in here. So this is going to stick out into that shelf, and then that reading light will actually go, and it's on an arm that will extend over the bed. So it's not in the headspace that the person, whoever's using this, my wife, is using this upper bunk. And then there'll also be a carport and probably a little shelf to be able to hold your phone so you can charge it at the same time. So that'll be on the end of the cabinet. I also ran wires for basically the toilet down here, and then I ran a chase for all of the wiring down here, which is for all the wiring that goes to all the other stuff, which I've talked about in the past. So at this point, I'm feeling really, really good. I'm probably going to actually paint this first before I actually go over and start doing the passenger side, mainly because I just want to see what it's going to look like. So anyways, that's kind of where I'm at. I left down at the bottom, you can't see it probably, but down at the bottom I left one row empty, which I'll install at the very end. I'll do the same thing on the passenger side. So basically what I'm doing is I'll put this in, I'll paint it, I'll put the other side in, I'll paint that whole thing. Once all the painting is done inside here, then I'll actually put the floor down, which is, like I had said in previous videos, is basically a cork floor that we'll put down over the top of this whole thing. Then I'll install those last couple boards on the bottom to take it all the way down. And if necessary in areas that show, I'll actually use some trim, but most of it's going to be covered by cupboards and the beds, or just in the garage area. So probably not a lot of trim down on the floor, but I didn't want to put the floor in and then paint. So hopefully we'll get the wall done in the next handful of days, and then I can actually start putting the floor in, which will definitely change the feel and look of the van. I actually took it for a drive today. I ran out of screws, so I had to go get more screws. We took the van for a drive today just to see what it was like. I was a little concerned about the walls like potentially creaking or making noise, but none of it. Didn't have any of that. It actually sounds really, really good. In fact, driving down the road, you could actually hear on the driver's side, it was actually considerably quieter. The noise that was coming off of the driver's side was way less than what you could hear off the passenger side. So each time we add stuff to the van, the sound and sound dampening and the noise in the van overall is getting less and less and less, which is fantastic because it's, when we first got it and it was just an open tin box, driving down the highway in it, you couldn't talk, you're pretty much just yelling at each other. So I'm really glad that this is actually coming down in sound and becoming a lot nicer to ride in. So anyways, that's where it's at right now, and on to painting in the next wall. Thanks everybody.